Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to our The Witcher Season 1, Episode 1 Thoughts video. I've just finished watching the first episode of the new Netflix series, The Witcher, starring Henry Cavill, and I'm just going to be sharing my general thoughts on the first episode and whether I'm going to keep watching the series or not, or the rest of the season or not. But yeah, so I just, like I said, finished watching the first episode, and going into this, I didn't know really anything about The Witcher. In fact, I didn't even know it was based off a book series. I only knew about the games, and even that I didn't know anything about. So going into this, I really knew nothing more than what the trailers, the couple trailers that Netflix had released for it, had given me. So I was kind of coming into this pretty fresh. But I love Henry Cavill, and I like a kind of what's the word for it? Fantasy. TV series, kind of along the lines of Game of Thrones, but more on the fantasy heavy part. So that's the part that really intrigued me about this, was getting this fantasy TV series based off of book series starring Henry Cavill. So it had a lot of elements that had me really interested, and I thought this first episode did a really great job of kind of bringing me into this world and giving me kind of the basic information about it. First thing I should note, though, is I can't pronounce any of the names in this world, or I'm not going to try, I should say. I had the subtitles on the whole time, and I'm like, I've never seen these words before. I'm imagining this is a lot of names and stuff from the books, and obviously, but it was kind of hard to kind of keep track of some of the names. The easiest name in this was somebody called Mouse Sack, and I'm like, that's an unfortunate name for a wizard, but as you can see, that's the only name I actually caught besides a couple other characters. But that being said, I still really enjoyed this introduction to it. I felt they gave me all the information I did need about each of the things. The Witcher, he hunts down monsters. First thing you see in the beginning, spoilers for this episode, by the way. But the first thing you see in the first episode, the way the episode starts off, we see him fighting this giant monster thing. It looks kind of like a crab, a little bit like a spider, but with kind of a weird head. The point was, our first intro is seeing him fighting a monster coming into this town. This town's all doesn't like him, tells him to leave, calls him a mutant and all these other things. But then he goes and finds a wizard who wants him to kill somebody else, and then that lady wants him to kill him too. It's a whole thing. And so I really enjoyed, I thought this was a really great job kind of introducing us to this character who's clearly this outcast who society doesn't really particularly like. They might call him a mutant and whatnot. And so that kind of plays into this role of him, being a monster hunter and kind of being on the outskirts of society. So that was really interesting, the way they kind of just were able to introduce that to us and show that via this first episode, and then give us a little bit more information about the world at large. We were introduced to this royal family whose city was under attack and ended up being actually completely seized in this episode, and we saw the battle from the first from the trailers, the big battle they saw in the trailers was actually in this first episode, so that's actually kind of a plus to them, because I'm like, oh, okay, well, you didn't give too much of the whole season away, and it kind of sets up this thing, which is the princess of that family is told to go find the Witcher, and the Witcher himself is told that this girl in the woods is going to be his destiny. So I like the fact that this first episode did a really great did a good job, at least for me, of setting up this premise of being like, okay, why do they gotta get together? What are they gonna do to save the world? What's going on with this? This princess has some kind of screaming ability. She seems like Black Canary at this moment from the Arrowverse. She can just scream at people and cause things, exactly, a real loud scream. But it seems there's probably more to that than this. But yeah, overall, I thought this first episode did a really great job, like I said, introducing us to this world and to these characters and giving us an idea of what's kind of possible. We see two different wizards in this, which I was like, oh, this is right into it. Okay, cool. There's wizards everywhere. The one wizard's protecting the city. One wizard created his own little Garden of Eden illusion, it seems, inside of his own tower, and he's kind of, he tries to get the Witcher to kill somebody who he ends up killing without getting the reward, so it's a little bit all over the place. But I thought it did a really good job of, like I said, introducing us to this world, to these characters, and to the overall premise, and a little bit, not I want to say the rules of this universe, but kind of telling you what's possible with, there are wizards and they're going to be showing up all the time, and people are just killing each other like nothing. And we see at one point, the Witcher, one of my favorite parts of this episode is just seeing the Witcher with a sword. Henry Cavill is just great with the sword, or from what I could see at least. I don't know how many times it was stunt work or not, but it didn't seem like it was, because we were pretty close up to him, seeing him just cutting through people. At one point he cuts through a whole like at least like 5-10 guys in just a matter of seconds, just cutting through them like hot knife through butter, and that was just great. And that's the thing that's going to definitely, one of the big elements that's going to keep me intrigued in this show, to see how much more action they can, keep up, if they can keep it up with that first one, because that was set a bar pretty high for this show. Because now I'm like, okay, that's, you took out a whole team of guys. What's going to be able to do next? So yeah, I thought that was really great. Overall, like I said, I really enjoyed this, and I'm definitely going to be watching the rest of this season if I want to find out why he's got to meet this princess lady, and where they go from there, why it's his destiny, why do they got to save the world, what's going on, is there going to be more magic and wizards, is he going to go back and kill that wizard? He should have done it. I would have just stabbed him in the face right there. You had your sword next to his head. Yes, all the people were there, but they were scared of you. You literally cut through all these people who had weapons. They were throwing rocks and stuff. So, but again, that's you don't want to be the monster that people thought. Yeah, anyways, that's not really the point. The point is, I really enjoyed this first episode, and I'm definitely going to keep watching the rest of this series. So be sure to join me when I upload the video for the whole season, my thoughts on the whole season. I'll end up linking that at the end of this video once I get to that. But yes, that's all my thoughts on this first episode. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if you've checked out The Witcher, the first episode, or the first season. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Try to avoid any spoilers if you've managed to make it through the whole season before I have. But yes, that's all my thoughts. Thanks again for joining me today. Sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.